How's it going there, YouTube? This is Quinn, that Snazzy iPhone guy, and this is the video review of the Sony MDR-XB500 headphones. Now, if you want to see this video short, and actually 90 seconds, you can head over to my other channel. The link is below, 90 Second Tech. You can get all the same information you're going to get here in a fraction of the time. So if you're impatient or you need something to do, or you don't really care what I think, head on over there. But other than that, let's talk about these headphones and let's get into them. So, first of all, okay, by the way, to my subscribers, thank you. You guys are very awesome. Thank you for receiving 90 Second Tech so well. I know a lot of you don't like the idea. I know a lot of you love the idea. And I'm not going to force you to choose one or the other. You have both options. This is the same channel it was before. And the other newer channel is a little bit more professional. You don't get to know me as well, but you do get the content a lot faster. So there you go. Anyway, these headphones are going to retail you $49.99 US. For my British friends, I don't know because I didn't use the calculator. But, they're probably 30 pounds, something like that. Maybe a little less, 25. It's about 1 to 2. But, you are going to get a pretty solid pair of headphones for 50 bucks. As for the build quality, they are pretty excellent. It's a full plastic construction. If you can see there's some gaps. There's some problems here and there, so I can see if you're a destructive individual, these may not be the best well-built headphones for you, but I've used them pretty vigorously. I went skiing with them twice, and they've held up just marvelously. Haven't discovered any issues with the hinge, but like I said earlier, it is 100% plastic. I'm sure the drivers are metal, and then these 4 screws, but other than that, there is nothing all too fancy on these headphones. They do feel a little bit light, a little bit cheap, but because of the extreme lightness, they are super comfy to wear, and it also is all thanks to these cups. Now, these headphones are huge. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but I have 2 headphones here to compare. I actually bought these ones. I really missed them, so my giveaway winner stole them, and I decided to go pick up another pair. But right here we have the V-Moto Crossfade LPs, like seriously a fraction of the size. They are teeny in comparison to the MDR-XB500s, and then we have the Fanny Wang on ears here for you. So you can see these headphones are like behemoths. There is the older brother to this, the 700, and it has 50 millimeter drivers, and these are only 40, so it is even bigger than these headphones, and you do get a little bit better instrument separation. I can imagine the overall sound and equalizer is a little bit better, but it is $20 more. So for 50 bucks, you get the MDX500s. We'll talk about sound in a minute. What you're going to get in the box is the headphones themselves. You're going to get a little warranty / manual / how do you use these pamphlet, typical literature, and then you are going to find a soft felt pairing pouch. Nothing all that special. It has a little Sony logo on it, but nothing spectacular. You will notice that it has a spaghetti cable. I historically, if you guys have watched my videos, hate spaghetti cables. However, this one is actually really good. The point of spaghetti, and it's not really spaghetti, what would that be, linguine? I don't know, but the point, fettuccine, I don't know, beats me. Anyway, the point of these cables is typically to get this tangle-free situation into play. As we know, all the cables tangle that are, it's really sucky, and there's a lot of companies out there that have tried them. The perfect example is Monster. They tried that with the Heartbeats, and I think it's one of the worst cables I've ever had. A lot of the problems that come into play are cable noise. Obviously, you're not going to get that with a pair of over-ear headphones, so cable noise shouldn't be an issue. But cable noise is an issue on in-ears, and then it also tangles. I don't know what Sony did. I think theirs is a little bit thicker, but I have had no tangling in these. It's not like the straightest cable. It gets a little bit weird and kinked, but it doesn't like wrap itself up. You can mix this all together, and it's not going to get tangled. So it's pretty good stuff. Anyway, we have the headphone jack right here. Very standard 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. There is no 1/4 inch adapter, which is really too bad because in my opinion, these are like perfect studio headphones. Well, as a drummer. For guitarists, instrumental, vocalists, these are not the way to go because there's too much bass, but we'll get into that in a minute. Other than that, though, the build quality is pretty standard in a pair of $50 headphones. You may experience some issues if you're a little bit more of an abrasive or abusive user, but I put them through the ring and they haven't experienced many issues at all. They pick up a couple scratches, as you can probably see right there, right below the Sony logo. But all in all, they're pretty excellent. So let's talk about the sound quality. I'll bring these back into play. The sound quality is very good considering they're $50. Obviously, you're going to get some better sound out of EG, Exempli Gratia, I believe it is. i.e., okay, lesson. No, I'm not going to do that. It was going to piss you guys off. Sorry. Okay, so just know that when you're providing examples, you use EG and not IE. That's a very common misconception. Anyway, the V-Moto Crossfade LPs sound very good. These don't match the sound, but for $50, they actually do sound pretty good, and I think it's because they're large drivers, provide a little bit better frequency response than most of the other headphones in this price range. And obviously there are some issues. I mean, you're not going to have a perfect sound. We'll talk about some of the issues right there in a second, but first let's talk about the good. They're marketed as super bass headphones, and I will tell you they are super bass. I've never had so much bass pumping through my head. Like, it almost hurts. It vibrates like crazy. It feels like your skull is being shook, which some people really like. I'm not a huge fan of that, but on the plus side, you can use an equalizer, and it'll flatten the frequency response out pretty well. So they do respond to equalizers, which is good because a lot of headphones don't. The Monster Beats by Dre do not respond to equalizers, and their bass is good, but this bass is even bassier. So these headphones out of the box are so bassy, they're almost bad. But you can use an equalizer to refine that much, much more. But I mean, out of the box, these are totally hip hop, rap, heavy bass, dance, electronica headphones. Now, when you use an equalizer, you can get them to play alternative, unplugged, rock, and you know, they're pretty good. But obviously the bass is thumping, and that is the focus. Now, one thing that is good about these headphones is the bass didn't seem to distort, and it didn't get muddy, and it didn't get all that big of an issue until the headphones hit about 90%. Once they hit about 90%, you could hear a little bit rattle. You can hear that everything was kind of mushing together. There wasn't clear distinction from instrumentals, but instrument separation was pretty good until that point. Now, 90% unfortunately sounds like a lot, but it's really not that much because these headphones don't get that loud. And you know, this happens for one reason and one reason only. They're super conservative. So you can plug this into an iPod Nano and they'll consume as much power as, you know, these are very conservative headphones. They don't withdraw a lot of power, which is nice because it plays nice on your battery. But that being said, they don't get very loud. So even with an amplifier that was powered, I didn't notice that these headphones got that loud. And when I did push it over about 95%, you did hear stuff to start to distort. So these are like pleasurable listening. But, you know, there you go. Here is my number one problem with these headphones. Leakage. These things leak like mad. They are probably the most leaking headphones I've ever used, and it is a very big annoyance. Some people don't care, but I personally do not like having people listen to my music. It's annoying, and I hate when I'm sitting next to someone and their music is pumping loud. Now this, you don't even have to turn this up loud for people to hear your music. So that is a big, big problem. And I think it is because of these super comfy cushions, which by the way, are so incredibly soft. These are the most comfortable headphones I've ever used. They're like pillows on your ears, but they don't create a very good seal. So you will have background noise. You know, they don't noise cancel passively very well. You need to have music to get outside noise away from you. And of course they leak so other people around you can hear your music. A lot of people don't like that, and I'm one of them. So we talked about how it distorts at about 90%. We talked about how they're not... did we talk about... No, we didn't. Okay, so like I said, rap, hip-hop, all that stuff is pretty good in the low end. When you flatten the EQ, when you play around with the equalizer in your equalizer settings, you will notice that it can play rock and classical music, and you know they're pretty well versed. When you get it to a flat EQ, you can make these play just about anything, and they do it all pretty well. What it did spectacularly on, and I'm actually incredibly surprised, was unplugged music. Acoustic music sounded like mad awesome on this stuff. One thing that is bad, when you're listening to alternative or rock or even pop, when there was a distinctive part in the track, so like a singing solo or a guitar solo, and that was the front of the track. I mean, you know, think about a song and there's a guitar solo. The guitar is the focus. It's louder than everything else in the background because that's what they want you to focus on. When that happened, when there was an aft track that wasn't bass oriented, bass sounds great when bass is the track, and drums sound great when drum is the focus. But when there's a guitar solo or when there's a vocal solo, you will notice that the low end, the stuff in the background, the other instruments kind of get a little bit muddy. It was a little bit of an irritation to me. It's something that's very refined, I think. I mean, most people probably won't notice, but I think if you think about it, and even if you don't think about it, you may notice that when there's a distinctive part in the track, the rest of it kind of gets muddy, and that's not something that I really like. But other than that, these are very fantastic headphones. They're an excellent value for $50, and I can definitely recommend them. On a Snazzy scale of 1 to 10, I give them a 7, and that's because the EQ is messed up right out of the box. They are way too bassy, way too much for me. If you like bass, and you're like, oh, bass is so sick. First of all, bass isn't everything that matters in music. And if you are like bass is so sick, then buy these headphones and I can promise you that you will have a plentiful amount of bass. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thank you to everyone for your and nice comments on the new 90-second Tech channel. I do look forward to it. Like I said, I'm not going to be detracting anything from this channel. It's all going to stay the same. But, there you go. Sony MDR-XB500s. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, check out 90-second Tech, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.